Hi, everyone. It's Mitch from PickDogs.com here with the Puck Dogs. Hopefully, you guys caught my announcement yesterday where, I have Sports Chat Place back. So there's the Sports Chat logo. We'll have to get a transparent version for the show. But right now, we're just broadcasting on the Pick Dogs channels. And Rod's got his Sports Chat shirt up behind him there, which is good stuff. I slept in my Sports Chat shirt last night. And, I love Sports Chat, but I love Pick Dogs, man. I love what we're doing at Pick Dogs, right? So it's not like I'm gonna, leave Pick Dogs and we're only gonna do Sports Chat. And Pick Dogs was like, just something that we used in the meantime or anything like that. I think that for now, Pick Dogs is gonna be. We're still gonna do game previews, and I'm actually writing on Pick Dogs now. Chris is on Sports Chat now. At least for the time being. And, but Pick Dogs is going to be, we're still going to cover the articles. We're still going to cover the games. We're still going to do all those things. We're still going to do spread knowledge. But Pick Dogs is going to be our vehicle for things like this. The live shows, the videos, the things like that. Over the short term, Pick Dogs will be the bulk of that's up. The dog of the day is at Sports Chat. It always has been. That's where it goes, right? Everybody knows that. And I was so cool doing Dog of the Day last night. Man, it was so fun to do it again. You know how long it's been since I've done the Dog of the Day at Pick Dogs, but it always felt funny. It was kind of like, it doesn't, even though it's Pick Dogs, it doesn't really belong there. The Dog of the Day belongs to Sports Chat. That's where it was done. I did the Dog of the Day for 12 years at Sports Chat. And it's just like, I didn't have my banner up, for Sports Chat. I'm trying to figure out, how I'm going to set up my studio. So do I set up the Sports Chat banner on one side and the Pick Dogs banner on the other side to stand in front? Because the issue I have is that I want to get a large screen TV and hook my Apple TV up to it so I can have my computer, so I can have all my notes on the TV while I'm doing kind of like a teleprompter to do when I'm doing my videos, so I can, instead of looking down at the iPad, I have it all in front of me there. Anyways, real problems here. How you guys doing today? Chris, how does it feel to be back at Sports Chat Place? I know it's not our building yet. We're rebuilding things, but I'm sure it had its share of challenges. But at the same time, at least it's ours again, right?
Yeah. It feels like being back home a little bit. It's going to take some getting used to after being away for a while, but it's good to have it back. It's good to be back. It's on to bigger and better things for this year.
Yeah, and like I said. Sports Chat's going to change, and Pick Dogs are going to change, but we're always going to continue to do the things that we've been doing. On the last show, on the Computer Pick show, one of the trolls was piping in some stuff, and I actually think it's a good idea. I wish there was a vehicle where people could put their picks in. I know other people have set up sites where anybody can be a handicapper and enter their picks and things of that nature, and I've always kind of been down on it, but I think it's not a bad idea. Kind of like what Action Network does with their app, but kind of more like within a community. The app, I think, is kind of like all over the place, But if we do it within our community, and this way, people, instead of this guy coming on and say, "Oh, 13-3," I'm 13-3. It's like, yeah, I mean. I think when you get to cherry pick your games, like we do in the premium area or like with spread knowledge or something, it's we only pick A pluses, A's, and B pluses. It's a little different story than, throwing out the, the Alabama A&M versus Alcorn State game. Who'd you have in that one, Because that one was tough. I mean, I nailed that Florida A&M game the other day. Anyways. Canes, Canes, told you. You guys can thank me now, because now is later.
This is my I'm not amused face.
Anyways, like I said, we don't have a lot of time today. I can't I can't talk a lot about Sports Chat Place and everything that happened. I can't talk about my old site that I'm no longer an owner of or half owner of. I'm not allowed to talk about any of those things. So you can ask questions, but 99% of them I'm going to have to say I'm not legally allowed to answer, which I hate. I hate that answer because you guys know I love telling the truth. Ugh, I feel like I think if I say that I'm not legally allowed to answer, I'm not ducking the question. Believe me, it's killing me. It kills me. It's that I'm really legally not allowed to answer. Whatever, man. I would tell you why I'm not legally allowed to answer, but I'm not legally allowed to tell you that either. Anyways,
we're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah, let's get on to some games. We got hockey. We got 11 games on the card. Chris, we're just going to do the betters edition of Pick Dogs today. How many games of these are bettable games?
There's some that are the lines are bettable, but for me personally, I'm only sticking to 4 games that I'm actually going to be putting my money on today. Let's start in Columbus. I like Columbus with minus 110 against Buffalo. I know Buffalo does their best work at home, but the problem is they're not playing well enough to sort of even give them a low line like this any sort of value. Columbus is rolling along, and they took Tampa Bay to overtime. I lost to Tampa Bay right now. There's no shame in that, and Columbus is still playing well in their own right. So I'll take Columbus minus the 110.
Rod, is that one that's on your radar as well?
Yeah, but I'm going to go the other way. Columbus has some pretty good injuries. Seth Jones is out. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. The last game, Cam Atkins is out. He's out a good 3 weeks. So give me Buffalo here at home over Columbus. I think you take out those couple pieces and injuries start to catch up with you. Give me Buffalo here today.
Well, I can guarantee you guys one thing about that game. The Puck Dogs will have given you a winner in that game. So there you go. Anyways, Chris, what else are you looking at here?
Another game I'm looking at, I like Tampa Bay on the puck line against Edmonton. It's like we said before, Edmonton's down Connor McDavid for the next couple weeks, and yes, Edmonton was able to pull out a win against Chicago. But going against a Chicago team that's in a playoff run right now, going to play a Tampa Bay team that's, again, like I said, steamrolling teams right now, it's completely different. I think this is where the lack of McDavid is going to hurt, and I think Tampa Bay wins this one by a couple, so I'll go Tampa Bay on the puck line.
Rod, any thought on that one?
Yeah, the same thing. Give me Tampa on the puck line. Oilers are 0-7 the last 7 in Tampa, 1-4 or 1-4 the last again in Tampa, 0-7 versus Tampa. Give me the Lightning here. No McDavid. Drysdale can't do it all. How many points you score in that game? 5? So.
This is the portion of the show, I'm going to do it a little earlier, where I grovel for thumbs up. If you could please hit the thumbs up if you're watching this on YouTube, it helps us a ton. It costs you nothing. It should take you about a half a second. So I'm a little tired, so I can't even get mad at the trolls. I'm so tired. But I'm not too tired to ask for the thumbs up. So if you guys can hit the thumbs up, super greatly appreciated. Rod, what's your next game that you're looking at here?
What I'm looking at Washington game here. I mean, this Washington game losing.
Cutting out on the sound.
One straight in Colorado in the last 5. So give me Washington here. I'll take Washington over the Avs.
Kind of cut out on the sound there, but I'm going to say that he said take Washington over the Avs. Chris, that was your pick in the first one? No, that was spread knowledge like the over in that game.
Yeah, but I am on Washington as well. It's hard for me to go against Colorado on a low line at home with their 5-game winning streak, but it's even harder for me to go against Washington with plus money. I mean, it's something that you're not going to see very much, especially on the road where you can make the case they played better this season. So I'll take Washington plus 119 as well.
What else you got, Chris?
The last game I'm looking at for today, I like the Islanders plus 118 against Nashville. I just think these prices continue to show the Islanders no respect. They're starting to win the bigger games against the better teams, and Nashville's been far from convincing on home ice as of late. So I think the Islanders are worth a shot at this price. I'll take about plus 118.
Rod, how about you on this one or any other game?
Yeah, I'm on that exact same one. I love the Islanders today over Nashville. They've just been rolling. Another one. Give me Florida on the puck line at home over the Flyers. The Flyers are 0-4 last four in Florida, and Florida's just the better home team. Give me Florida today on the puck line. I like. And give me the Wild at home over the Rangers. This Wild team's just been rolling after the All-Star break, and they're at home. Give me the Wild at home here. I'll lay a little bit into the Wild at home.
Okay, we got two NBA games today. Two good matchups, right? We got the Celtics against the Clippers and then the Pelicans against the Thunder. You know, I think of these two games, I really think the second one is the more interesting game because the Pelicans are just such an upstart and the Thunder are such an upside surprise, right? So it's like, which one shows up here? But, man, I can't get away from that 20-5 on the road for the Thunder, against the number. I know Rod loves talking about trends and, how often teams are winning here and covering spreads there. I don't talk as much about that stuff. I'm more like a game watcher, and I'm like, well, I saw this game, and the guy clearly stepped on the out-of-bounds line, and it didn't go in, right? And that's why I kind of get into trouble sometimes with my picks because I get away from my strategy, which is generally numbers-based. Right? So it's like, I'll let it steer me, and generally when I let that happen, it's like, I'll omit a pick that I really, in a game that I would have taken, and but I can't ignore this 20-5 on the road for the Thunder against the number. And I think the Pelicans, I love what they're doing. I love the direction of the team. I like the talent that they have. I like a lot of things that they have going on there. But I don't like them here. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, for the same reasons that you said. I like OKC as well. It's something I had marked down before we even got on the air. Was that I like the way OKC's been playing on the road, and they just cover numbers left and right.
Wait, hold on a second. You said you did it before we even got on the air, so you know what that is?
Uh-oh.
That's either a thank me later or an I told ya.
Can it not just be like I'm not just riding your coattails?
I told ya. It's like, so I like when people say I told you, I like always skim through the whole Facebook group. I think people would probably be amazed as to how much attention I pay to the Facebook group on top of everything else that I'm doing. I'm constantly checking it. I mean, I'm out on the golf course. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm reading the posts in the Facebook group. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm responding. They're like, who does that? It's like, these are people that know nothing about Facebook and nothing about, what we do. And they're just like, what are you doing? It's like, you're up, I'm like, it's okay for you to take a piss behind the tree, but I can't, I can't tell this guy he's out of his mind for taking Louisville. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, this is what I do,
Yeah, I mean, I do like OKC getting the free the 2.5 points here.
How about the other game, the Celtics and Clippers? It's like, which Clippers are we going to see?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's hard for me to think that the Clippers are going to lose two in a row. But with the line being so low, Boston's 22-5 straight up at home this season. I think I got to lean towards the Celtics at home here.
How about you, Rod? Any thoughts on these games?
Yeah, I'm on OKC, and I'll give you the Celtics at home. This line being low, I think someone's going to be out for the Clippers.
So, that leaves us to college hoops, and Thursday is kind of like that off day in college hoops where it's like ton of games, 46 games on the card, and like I don't know, 20 teams that are kind of like household names or less, right? Maybe 50, maybe 10 teams that are household names, and it's like this every week. It's like Thursday. It's Pac-12. It's West Coast Conference. It's OVC, Conference USA, Western Athletic Conference, Sun Belt, Atlantic Sun, Northeast Conference. A lot of this stuff. So to me, it's like these are the games where it's like these are the ones where the books put limits on the lines. Are some of these smaller games like that Florida A&M game the other night that I love Florida A&M in the video, and I was just like, this is nuts, right? There's 1 point. I mean, they won by 30 points or something. It was like, you'd be hard pressed to find a book that'll take more than $500 worth of action on a game like that. So they know that's where they're vulnerable. When they put limits on the games, like on the Super Bowl, yeah, we'll take $1 million on it. World Series, yeah, we'll take $1 million on it. It's like, but Florida A&M, they're vulnerable, because it's like somebody knows something, and it's us, right? Because we watch every. We have a problem. It's like it's like the real world, right? It's like the people I play golf with. It's like, who do you like in the to win? Who do you like to win the NBA championship this year? And I'm like, I'm not really sure, but you might want to look at the Robert Morris Mount St. Mary's game tonight. It's like they just look at me like I got 3 heads or something. It's like, but it's like our community is like, wait a minute, Mitch says something about St. Mary's. It's like they're all thinking now. It's like, Mitch, who do you like in the Robert Morris Mount St. Mary's, right? It's like, yeah, so what? So we might have some issues. It's like it's like people say to me, it's like, what does your wife think about like with all the sports you watch? And she's just like, she's come to accept it. It's not like when she met me, I wasn't this over the top. I just didn't have the website. It's like I was still doing exactly the same thing that I do now. I was just doing it in bars or whoever, the mailman, whoever would frickin' talk to me. Office, right? I mean, most people know this. I got fired from my day job, way back when, because I just wrote and talked about sports all day. It was like, it's like I started Sports Chat Place, and it was like they were paying me to do one job, and I did another, and it was called Building Sports Chat Place. I spent about 10 minutes working on their work a day or less. I would go to the gym. I'd wake up. I'd work on Sports Chat Place. I'd do Dog of the Day video. I used to do it in the morning, remember? And then I would go to the gym, which was at the office. I would go to the office, and then I would work on the site all day. And then I would go to lunch. And then I would come back, and I'd work on the site again. And then it was time to go home and post. So, it is what it is. And, if I want to talk about the Wagner versus fairly disinterested game, then I'm going to do it. But anyways, what's jumping off the page at you? Rod Hofstra's playing tonight. That's got to get you pretty excited. Are you tailgating here for the Hofstra game? Because we know no one's got pride in Hofstra like Rod. How I was about Vermont last year. Rod has been that way with Hofstra, and I think Hofstra's got 17 covers this season. And I think Rod has cashed 17 times on Hofstra this season. Rod, yeah. We're looking at an 18th cash here on the Pride.
Oh, yeah, I'll take Hofstra.
It was the setup, right? It's like, all right, I'm sorry, go ahead. It's like,
how can you know? Because they're playing, they win this and cover. No problem. Give me Hofstra today. I really like him today.
I like him too. Chris, you looking at Hofstra as well?
I didn't have it written down, but yeah, I like Hofstra as well.
kind of like a community effort. Rod, what else are you looking at? We got a pretty interesting board. I got a bunch of games. This is, when it's a Saturday and most of my videos are Duke and Louisville and Ohio State and Marquette and whatever. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's a lot less looking down at the iPad, right? There's a lot less of it. When I'm doing Murray State and Northern Colorado and Northern Arizona, there's a little bit of head tilt in there at the iPad. It's like I don't have those numbers, at the top of my head, and it's like. I tried to do Belmont, Tennessee State, and you guys never see this either. Most of the videos are just one take and I'm done, and that's why I'm able to do so many. But I tried to do Belmont, Tennessee State 3 times. I finally just said, I'm not doing it. I just moved on. And sometimes the games that you see in the parlay are ones that I never got through the video. It's just like, I'll just use them in the parlay later. It's like... What do you got on here, Chris? Anything exciting flying under the radar, or any of the bigger games like Indiana, Iowa?
No, ironically enough, the first game on my list is Belmont minus 12.5 against Tennessee State.
Yeah, I like the same thing, but I just couldn't. I didn't know what to say, because Tennessee State is 6-5-1 on the road against the number. So it was like I was almost making an argument that maybe this number is just a little bit too big. And then when I saw, 79% of the public on Belmont, I'm like, I can't stand here in front of this camera and say Belmont. It's like, it's against everything I believe in life. It's like, I just can't do it. I'll say, like, when I'm doing it, we should do I should do an outtakes reel. I should keep these and do outtakes. I can just say, I can't say that. I did the same thing in the UCLA video last night against Washington State. I was like, everything here is begging you to take UCLA, and it's like, I don't know, I don't really have a side in that one. It's just, I even say it's a lean at best. That's when I'm really not sure. And it's like, it's an 8-pointer. Both these teams are 5-5 in their last 10 games, and Washington State is 0-5-1 against the number. Right? So on the road, so it's like 1-5 straight up on the road, 0-5-1 against the number, and UCLA's won 3 of their last 4 games. It's like, man, it's pretty tough for me to argue for Washington State here, even though they've won 2 of their last 3 games. And I got to say, the most impressive win for me out of that they've had all season, they beat Arizona State. And for those of you not paying attention at home, Arizona State's won 5 of their last 6 games. This is a really hot team right now. So, all right, sorry, Chris. Belmont, tell us about this beautiful pick you have here.
The only reason I'm going Belmont minus 12.5. Tennessee State 5th in the OVC right now, so they're taking a big step up from recent years. The problem is Belmont, Austin Peay, Murray State, the top 3 in the OVC. This is Tennessee State's 3rd road game against the 3 teams. They lost to Austin Peay by 25, and they lost to Murray State by 13. So I'm or 12. I don't see any reason this would be different here. Belmont's trying to keep pace at the top of that conference. I'll take Belmont in a statement win, laying the 12.5.
You got another one for us?
Yeah, I like Southern Cal laying the 3.5 against Washington. I just don't know. Washington has a lot of talent, but for whatever reason, it's just not clicking. It's not being put together. Southern Cal had a bit of a stumble last time out against Arizona State, but I think this is where Trojans bounce back. Washington, I don't know what, 2-9 in conference play this season. Yeah, no, I'll take USC all day here.
Rod, what are you looking at?
Well, Washington's just been horrible. They're 0-6 ATS against the number of the last 6. USC is just a way better team. And I only have to lay 3. Give me USC minus 3 here. They're 7-2 ATS against the spread the last 9. So, yeah, I like USC. Give me the Ducks. Oregon, or Colorado at Oregon. 6-18 Oregon. I think the Ducks rolling today. I'm also looking at Arkansas Little Rock at Texas. Arkansas Little Rock's 5-1-1 ATS last 7 versus the number. Texas State is what 6-12 ATS the last 18. They just don't look good. Arkansas already beat this team once this year, and I see them coming in here and getting the sweep. Give me Arkansas plus the 3.
Chris, what else are you looking at?
The other two games I have on my list, I like Santa Clara getting the 1.5 at home against San Francisco. I just think you're going to give me a 1.5 with a team that's 15-2 at home this season. I know San Fran is one of the better teams in the West Coast Conference this year, but I just think that Santa Clara's been really good at home, so I'll take the 1.5 with Santa Clara. And the last one, I like Winthrop bouncing back. I like them laying 5 points against Gardner Webb. Winthrop, suffered their first conference loss against Radford last time out, but like I said, I think they bounce back here. 12-1 against the spread on the road this season is not something I'm trying to mess with. So I'll take Winthrop laying the 5.
So UC Santa Barbara. Would you possibly consider a UC parlay with or UC? You said Santa Clara, right? So
Yeah.
any
So what you want me to do with
possibility of
Santa
parlaying them
parlay?
up with Santa Barbara? Because I think the Santa Barbara line looks way off to me. I mean, Davis 10-15, 3-3 against the number at home for Rod's trendsetters there, and Santa Barbara 6-4-1 against the number on the road, 6-4 straight up in their last 10, 16-8 on the season, and they got a cool little logo, the Gauchos.
Could be worth a look.
It's just me. Maybe it's me. I'm not feeling the enthusiasm coming through the screen.
No, I'm trying to think of a more creative name for it than a Santa parlay.
Yeah. Santa's coming to town with the 2-team parlay.
the Santa's Little Helpers parlay.
We'll probably get sued on that too, man. It's like lawsuit is 15% off all your picks. Use the discount code lawsuit. Oh God. Oh man. Anyways, there's some other good ones in here too. I was looking some of the videos that I did. Cal against Arizona. Cal's been deceptively good at home this season. Arizona, not exactly world beaters on the road, getting double-digit home dog here. That's something to look at. Spread knowledge pick was BYU against Loyola Marymount. Oh, Marymount, not good. Not a good team this season. BYU looking to get a spot in the NCAA tournament. Got Oregon State and Utah. 2 disappointing teams this year. And, just a lot of good stuff. How about App State and Georgia State? Did you take a look at this one, Chris?
I looked at it. I didn't put it on my list. I was going to take Georgia State laying the 6.
All right. Well, how about this, Rod? If you haven't looked at the game, Rod, have you looked at this one? Because I'm going to read off some numbers to you and see who you would take.
Okay.
All right. One team is 14. One team is 14-11, and the road team is 14-11. They're 12-10-1 against the number, and 8-3-1 against the spread on the road this season. The other team is 9-1 at home, straight up, but just 4-4 against the number.
I'm taking the road team.
Yeah, me too. I'm taking my 6 points. I love Georgia State. We've been all over them all season, but it's like you got to take App State here. I'm not allowed to say the full word of App State, their full school name, because I can't say it correctly, and I just can't take. I'm sensitive. I can't take the abuse. But anyways, anything else, guys? Before we wrap it up.
For me, give me Wichita today. Wichita minus 3.5 at UCF. UCF is 1-5 ATS. Their last 6 at home. I think there's a spot that Wichita wakes up and has a good game and beats them there. Give me Wichita today. And I also like give me Western Kentucky. Here's one that the trends just don't even do anything for you. But Western Kentucky's 12. They won the last 12 games. The numbers are all weird and wonky. It's like 1-4, 1-5. So, but I think Western Kentucky can roll UTEP here today. Give me Western Kentucky -2.
So, speaking of Western Kentucky, I like that one as well. But how about taking Western Kentucky and parlaying it up with Florida International against Louisiana Tech, who's getting just a bundle of points? I don't know. I just figure, I'm half asleep. I never do parlays, so it's like, why not? Just throwing out a bunch of them. But I think, you get a Conference USA thing going there. I don't know. It just seems I really like Florida International in this spot against Louisiana Tech. La Tech, probably the better team, but are they 9 points better? Florida International is red hot. College basketball is such a streaky game. We've seen it even with, not just with the little guys, with the big guys too. I mean, we look at Michigan, right? So streaky at the beginning of the year, winning, and then they went on a cold streak, and now they're getting a little hot again, right? Well, they played Northwestern, right? So that's going to get you streaky hot. But I mean, it's such a streaky game in general, and FIU is pretty streaky right now. So people are saying they can't bet on Seton Hall because it's a New Jersey team, and that's true. That the New Jersey betting stuff, they don't allow betting on the New Jersey stuff, which it's kind of like you can't bet on. I think it's UNLV in Vegas. At least you used to not be able to. I'm not sure anymore. But all right, Chris, we're going to do the recap.
Sure.
I got places to be and people to see, and I'd rather hang out with all you guys, believe me, than the people I've got to talk to and see. But such is life, and things will be back to normal probably next week as we start to find some normalcy.
Yeah.
If we find normalcy, things could return to normal. Go ahead, Chris.
Imagine that. Okay, let's go to the ice. The 4 games I'm playing today, I like Columbus -110 against Buffalo. Tampa Bay on the puck line against Edmonton. The Islanders +118 against Nashville, and Washington +119 against Colorado. College hoops, I like Belmont -12.5 against Tennessee State. USC -3.5 against Washington. Santa Clara +1.5 against San Francisco, and Winthrop -5 against Gardner Webb. 2 NBA games, I like Boston -1.5 against the Clippers, and Oklahoma City +2.5 against New Orleans.
Okay, Rod, the recap.
All right, start with Hawk. I like Dallas today over the Leafs. Give me Dallas over the Leafs. I like Buffalo over Columbus today. I think the injuries catch up to Columbus. I love Tampa on the puck line. Florida on the puck line. Give me the Islanders over Nashville. The Wild over the Rangers. Washington over the Avs. For me, my hockey birdcage of the day. All the Islanders. NBA, give me the Celtics.
Rod, you got to repeat that one. You went out for a second. All I heard was Islanders.
Okay. The birdcage in the NHL for me today is Washington, the Islanders, and Dallas.
Washington, Islanders, and Dallas. For those people that didn't hear it. Washington, Islanders, Dallas, birdcage.
NBA, give me the Celtics. OKC. College hoops, I like Hofstra. -4.5. Give me Western Kentucky -2, Wichita -3.5, Oregon -4, and Little Rock +3. My birdcage for college hoops, all cover the number. Give me Hofstra, Wichita, and Oregon can cover the number.
All right. We got some guy who says, "Thank me in the morning" for his pick. I hate that, man. Thank me later. Like, well, 10,000 other people more than 10,000 other people made the same pick. Probably, I don't know how many bets were made on one team or the other. But, I don't know, man. They always act like they're this. I think the thank me later. I think the thank me later. It's just. I think what gets me about it is that it's kind of like you came up with this idea that nobody else, could have possibly thought of. It's like there's only two teams playing in the game, and there's only two NBA games tonight. So I'm gonna guess that other people have that same pick. So you got to thank everybody later that has that pick. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know. I have no idea. I gave out a couple parlays, did a bunch of video picks. Of course, if you don't see the picks at Pick Dogs, you can check over at our other site, Sports Chat Place. You might have heard of it. And we definitely have them covered there. We're kind of running with sort of a skeleton crew on basketball right now. We're going to fill that in over the next day or so, and we'll have full coverage at both sites. But that's just, it is what it is. Let me bring the guys back. Let's do a different order than we do. Just totally switch positions here. And it's just the way it's going to be. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to have a light schedule again tomorrow. It's really just not a lot going on at all, but that's good. We'll be able to talk about some other things as well. And thanks for joining me. Have a great day. And we'll see you then. Let me see if I can